It was the kind of morning that made you believe the world could still be good. The New Mexico sun was just creeping over the mesas, painting the desert gold, and the air carried the faint scent of sagebrush from last night's fire. I was out by the corral, coffee in one hand, feed bucket in the other, while my horses snorted their hellos. This was my slice of paradise, 120 acres of hard-won land, complete with 3 wells, 2 barns, and a bunkhouse I was fixing up for guests. I'd earned it after 20 years as a federal agent, chasing white-collar crooks until a bullet in my hip forced me to trade my badge for peace. Or so I thought. My name's Tom Harlan, and I've moved to the edge of nowhere to escape people. No neighbors, no noise, just me, the horses, and the endless sky. So when that first letter arrived from the Sunset Mesa Homeowners Association, I laughed. It was on fancy letterhead, gold embossed like they were running a country club, not a cluster of houses 5 miles away. They claimed my ranch violated their rules: unauthorized livestock, unapproved buildings, even the offensive red paint on my barn. My barn was here before their cookie-cutter suburb, and so was I. I tossed the letter into the burned barrel and forgot about it. Then came another. This one demanded $800 in dues and threatened $200 daily fines unless I corrected my property. I didn't burn this one. I scanned it, attached a letter with my title deeds, a county zoning map, and a clerk's note confirming my land was agricultural, unincorporated, and HOA-free. I emailed it back with a clear message: leave me alone. I CC'd my lawyer, Ellen Ramsey, a no-nonsense attorney who'd handled enough land disputes to bury these paper pushers. A week passed quietly, and I figured they'd backed off. Then a final enforcement notice arrived, $7,800 in penalties, and a line about my horses violating their urban wildlife policy. 5 miles from their nearest fence, and they were calling my land urban. That night, over bourbon on my porch, I knew this wasn't just stupidity. It was organized. Trouble showed up soon after. I was fixing a fence when I heard tires on gravel. Out here, uninvited guests meant lost travelers, preachers, or problems. 2 patrol cars idled at my gate, 1 sheriff's, 1 unmarked. 3 deputies, a nervous rookie, a clipboard-wielding bureaucrat, and an older officer who looked like he'd rather be fishing. I swung the gate open. "Morning. Something I can help you with." The rookie puffed up. "We've got reports of illegal structures, unauthorized livestock, water theft, and possible firearms violations." I raised an eyebrow and took their complaint, stamped with the HOA's logo. It accused me of fencing public land, tapping their water, and get this, running a paramilitary camp. I turned to the older deputy, Sergeant Mike Torres. "You know this land?" He squinted, then nodded. "Tom Harlan? From the old fraud case in Albuquerque?" I gave a single nod. He sighed. "Stand down, boys. No warrant, no jurisdiction. HOA doesn't own this dirt." The rookie protested, but Torres shut him down and sent them to the car. He lowered his voice. "Sorry, Tom. Their president, Linda Grayson, has been hounding the sheriff's office, claiming your land's under disputed zoning. She's even trying to reclassify it with the county." I clenched my jaw. "She's playing dirty, Mike. Fake claims, forged maps, and now you're here on my daughter's birthday." He chuckled dryly. "Still sharp, Harlan. Got your deeds handy." I showed him my laminated title and zoning docs. He promised to log the complaint as false and redirect future calls through legal. But I knew Linda wasn't done. People like her don't stop until you make them. The next day, I stopped by the county land office to check my records. Something about Linda's jargon-heavy letters made my gut twist. The clerk, Nancy, frowned at her screen. "There's a new jurisdictional overlay. Your land's been added to Sunset Mesa's administrative zone." I laughed, but it wasn't funny. I didn't authorize that. She showed me a digital map with my land shaded like it belonged to the HOA, plus a consent form with a forged signature, Tom Harlan, with a D and a fake address. "That's not mine," I said. Nancy's lips tightened. "This is serious, Mr. Harlan. Forging land records is a crime." I told her to notify the registrar and send me every file they'd submitted. I drove straight to Ellen's office. She scanned the papers, eyes narrowing. They forged a jurisdictional map and filed it. This isn't just HOA nonsense, it's attempted land fraud. By noon, she'd filed a complaint with the district attorney, and I submitted an affidavit with real signature samples. The game had changed. That night, I found a flyer taped to my gate. "All Sunset Mesa properties must comply." remove unauthorized livestock, or face legal action. No signature, just their smug gold logo. I left it there, a flag of their arrogance. 3 days later, the county confirmed the overlay was fraudulent. My land was still mine, free and clear. But Linda kept pushing. I was reinforcing a fence when I noticed fresh tire tracks narrow, like from SUVs, leading to my hay barn. No footprints, just rubber scars. Then I saw it. A camera, mounted inside the barn, aimed at my yard. Another was under the eaves, watching the corral. Amateur work, no camouflage. I yanked them down and showed Ellen. "They're escalating," she said, jaw tight. We filed complaints for trespass and illegal surveillance, and Ellen called an investigator who specialized in HOA corruption. I installed my camera's motion-activated, night vision, backed up to a hidden safe. I added decoys to mess with them. Reviewing the camera's SD cards, I found gold. 2 nights ago, at 3 a.m., 2 men in HOA polos and khakis unbolted my fence post, dug a hole, and planted a sign. "Welcome to Sunset Mesa. Community property begins here." They took photos and left. I sent the footage to Torres, who called back. "Not subtle, are they?" We opened a new incident report, and the DA got involved. Then an anonymous email arrived with an internal HOA thread. A junior board member, maybe with a conscience, had leaked it. Linda wrote, "He thinks his federal papers make him untouchable. We need his land for the highway expansion. If he doesn't comply, we'll litigate until he's broke." She wasn't just a busybody, she was orchestrating a land grab. The lawsuit hit like a brick. Sunset Mesa versus Tom Harlan, accusing me of trespassing, running an illegal business, and defaming their reputation. Ellen didn't just counter, she went scorched earth. Our suit named Linda personally, charging criminal trespass, fraud, invasion of privacy, defamation, and emotional distress, with a $5 million damages claim. We sent it with a press packet, and reporters swarmed. I stated my gate, holding the forged form. I didn't join an HOA. My land's mine, legally documented. What they've done is criminal. The clip hit the news, and the feed store clerk showed me on his phone, saying I looked like a cowboy ready for war. Subpoenas flew, and the DA opened a criminal probe. Linda had targeted 2 other parcels, one owned by a retired Marine, Colonel Ed Baxter, and another by a Navajo widow, Clara Begay, who'd lived on her land for decades. The DA froze the HOA's assets, halting their operations. Residents noticed, and cracks formed. An anonymous letter arrived. I didn't know she was lying. She said, "You were squatting." "I'm sorry." Linda called an emergency meeting, claiming I was a rogue with government ties, but it backfired. A leaked memo caught her ranting. "We won't let a bitter recluse ruin our vision." Residents turned on her. The quiet before the storm didn't last. At 2 a.m., my security system buzzed. 2 figures in HOA polos were at my fence with a crowbar and a sign. I hit the floodlights, and they froze. "Don't move," I called, pistol visible. "Sheriff's coming." One bolted, dropping his bag. The other stumbled after. I sent the footage to Torres. By afternoon, they were arresting a security contractor and a board member tied to the leaked email. Linda claimed they acted alone, but emails showed her ordering the sign's placement to mark the land before Q4 hearings. My land blocked their planned access road to Route 14. I was their wall. Ellen added conspiracy charges, and the media ate it up. The Albuquerque Times ran, "HOA caught trespassing on private ranch." 3 board members quit, one calling Linda deranged. The Santa Fe courthouse was swelteringly tense for the preliminary hearing. Ellen presented the forged signature, trespass footage, and Linda's email. The DA tied her to the other victims. Colonel Baxter testified, voice like steel. "She tried to steal my land with a fake map. In the Marines, she'd be done." Clara Begay's quiet words hit harder. "My husband's buried on our land." She called it her green zone. Judge Maria Salazar saw a pattern of deceit and set a jury trial, freezing the HOA's actions. The IRS piled on, auditing the HOA for misused funds, dinners, trips, payments to Linda's brother-in-law's firm. The sentencing day was packed. Linda, in a wrinkled suit, faced the DA's case: fraud, trespass, surveillance, tax evasion. Ellen's victim statement was a blade. She thought she could bury us in lies. But you can't annex what you don't own. Linda got 9 years, no parole for 6, and $3.8 million in restitution to me, Baxter, Clara, and another victim. The HOA dissolved, its assets liquidated. As Linda passed, cuffed, she hissed, "This isn't over." I smiled. "It is." Peace returned. No drones, no flyers, just the wind and my horses. I spoke at property rights conferences in Austin and Flagstaff, bringing my daughter to one. She called it Weird Career Day. I carved a new gate sign. Private ranch. No HOA. Trespassers will be recorded, reported, and ruined. Try me, Linda. What do you think? Have you faced bullies like Linda, wielding power to intimidate? Or seen justice triumph over greed? Share your thoughts below. Let's talk about standing up to injustice and what it means to fight for what's yours. Your voice matters.